And y'all better stop asking for something that you don't want and you're not prepared for. Gun control. De-escalation training. These are terms that you hear all the time when talking about the police. But let's take a step back. Let's be honest about something real quick. For all of y'all who don't think you need a gun. How many of you all know about the racist origins of U.S. gun control? How many of you all know that every law in the United States that has to do with gun control was designed to disarm slaves, freedmen, and African Americans? Let me say it again. Every gun control law that was ever enacted in the United States was only written to disarm slaves, that be you, freedmen, that be you, and African Americans. So all of y'all who migrated, that be you. Can I talk? Before the Civil War ended, they had what they had the slave codes, and those prohibited slaves from owning guns. And after President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863, and after the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution abolishing slavery was adopted, and the Civil War ended in 1865, the states persisted in prohibiting blacks, now called freemen, from owning guns under the laws that they called the Black Codes. They did so on the basis that blacks were not citizens and you didn't have the same rights. Listen to this, including the right to keep and bear arms protected in the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Y'all wonder why we exercised it, because at one time they had the black codes and they had the slave codes and you couldn't even own a damn gun. The view was specifically articulated by the U.S. Supreme Court in the infamous 1850 decision, Dred Scott versus Sanford, to uphold slavery. Y'all don't know y'all history. And then the United States turned around and they overrode most of the portions of the black codes. Listen to this, when they passed the Civil Rights Act of 1866. You see, the legislative histories of both the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment, as well as the special report of the Anti-Slavery Congress of 1867, those are full of denunciations of those statutes that denied blacks equal access to firearms. The point I'm making to you is they've been trying to keep guns out of your hands ever since you were slaves. You know why? Because don't nobody want to get busted in their ass as a payback. But guess what? The cops, on the meantime, get to bust you in your ass for a payback every day because they don't like the fact that they had to let your ass go free and all of their wealth went out. It took them 140 some years to rebuild their wealth off of y'all. It took them 200 and some odd years to get rich off of y'all. And then it took another 150 some years. Now we got 60 years that already passed. And guess what? Don't y'all know in the 1990s? They acted some new laws. Follow me for a second. The police issued licenses and permit laws. They don't do that unless they drafted to require the issuance of those not prohibited by law. In other words, they put loopholes in the law. Let no man be a slave lest he be a criminal. Lock up the black folks. They do gun sweeps in high crime neighborhoods, whereby vehicles and pedestrians who meet a specific profile that might indicate they carrying a weapon are searched. They got public housing residents that you singled out from gun bans. You can't have a gun. Don't y'all understand that the whole system is designed to disarm you? Then when all of a sudden something like this happened, you can't have a weapon. Let me share something with y'all. The NFAC tried to set up in Philly, and we were specifically told you got to have a special permit and be a resident of Philadelphia. If not, you can't come in here open carrying or doing nothing. Then some shit like this happened. We don't have a chapter there because the laws are written to keep us out. So the real thing is not to burn the damn city down, it's change the laws first. Then once the laws are changed, then you can arm yourselves, then you can strap up, then you can go to war.